Hello everybody and welcome back to France. Quick look at our diplomatic mode. Shows that Hungary is now teal. They are under a personal union with us, actually. We were able to get that in the last episode by going to war with Austria. So they are completely subject to us, which is great, because eventually Hungary is going to build back up to probably about 30,000 troops. I don't know if we were looking at this last time, but I don't know if I ever truly delved into this tab before with Geldum or not. But this is the subjects tab here, and you know we have three different kinds of subjects now. We have a personal union, which has different sort of these are the interactions that we can do with them. Vassals have slightly different interactions as well. And then colonial nations have slightly different interactions as well. And we could go through and read all these and okay. You know, so on and so forth, right? There's a liberty desire, though, that we're definitely concerned with here. And if I've already explained this maybe like 20 episodes ago, we'll just reiterate it. So we can look and see what's going on liberty desire-wise. So relative power, 20%. Okay. Interesting that it's not adding. Sometimes what it does is it adds the subjects together. Their power combines their power together, but maybe there's a different sort of scale for PUs and vassals. But usually, what happens is the more of these subjects you get, the more likely they are to feel like they should try to break free. But in this case, you know, the colonies are going to be very loyal. I mean, that makes sense for now. They're pretty small at the moment too, and we're pretty powerful. Geldum actually has the highest here, and again, that's because, you know, they're a nation that could sustain themselves by themselves. They don't need to be under our thumb, but for now they're okay because we are so much more powerful than them. It does say there's a development modifier there, right? 33.5% just from development. Or for some reason, we're not getting such a modifier for Hungary. So personal unions just must work differently. Must just work differently. And I guess maybe that has something to do with the fact that, like, we are literally the ruler of Hungary. So there's no one over there where Geldum, sorry, has their own ruler. Yet they have their own ruler. And they probably, that ruler has some desire to, you know, have an independent nation. Where here, there's no one controlling this area that has any hope of it being an independent nation. So right now everything's just fine. We look here though, liberty desire 11%, okay. We can go here to integrate. We can see we can't integrate them. They have to be at least a junior partner for 50 years before we can even consider doing this and have a really high relationship. So it's going to be a while before we consider integrating, but once we integrate a vassal or a personal union, then this would all become the nice French blue. This would literally be directly our land. It would not be a subject. It would be directly ours. It's pretty great. Colonial nations, though, we're never going to integrate them. They're just going to sort of continue to grow and do their thing. So here's the question. Here's the question I want to pose here. What is our goal for this campaign? Because things are getting kind of off the rails here. There's sort of like this unspoken rule or goal that maybe like, you know, we're going to control all of North America via colonialism. Maybe we're going to boot everybody out of Africa. So maybe we're going to control, at least boot the Europeans, right? Maybe we're going to boot the Europeans out of Africa, control North America. I mean, these are just random goals that we have just because of the way things are going organically. But we can actually, we haven't talked about this much, but we can actually hit this button up here, achievements, because we are playing on Iron Man mode, so achievements are live and active. Okay. We can get some ideas here, but there's one that I'm already familiar with here. Well, there's a couple things going on. Big Blue Blob. But we have to do this before 1500, so this is like way gone. Way gone. In fact, we don't even have this done yet, 66 years later. Wow. This is considered to be a pretty difficult achievement. You have to hold 100 European core provinces before 1500. Yeah, that's a tricky one. That's really sort of an advanced one. But here's one that I think we can get better than Napoleon. As France owned Vienna, Berlin, and Moscow. And the fact that we've taken Hungary as a personal union and eventually will control this land ourselves eventually, if all goes well. Well, Vienna's right here. Vienna's right here. So all we have to do is give this to Hungary in a war. And boom, we got Vienna. And Berlin. Heck, Berlin's just right here. Now, of course, Moscow is going to take the most work here. Here we go. Moscow here. So for that, we definitely, but we're already planning to go to war with Denmark, which would get us in range of Sweden. So we'd have to work our way up the Baltic. Once we get up here, then we just have to sort of shoot into Russia. But this could be our goal. This could be our European goal, is to get Vienna, Berlin, and Moscow, and get that achievement that is specific to playing France. So we don't have any of them yet. So that is something that I think would be more than doable. In fact, it'd probably be pretty easy, like relatively simple and straightforward at this point to get Vienna and Berlin. And then to get Moscow would be completely within our power. We would just have to work towards it. It'd be more of a long-term goal, right? We'd have to sort of skip through the Baltic and then just go to war with Russia, probably once or twice. And we'd have to win those wars, of course. Now, Russia is imposing, don't get me wrong. Russia is kind of an imposing force right now. Luckily, a lot of this land isn't too expensive, or too rich, I should say. So at the moment, Russia isn't like this giant beast of a nation, but they will continue to grow, especially if they eat Lithuania. If they get down here and start eating Lithuania and Poland and maybe taking this from the Ottomans, it's going to be difficult, right? Because the Ottomans are very powerful. But if we look here, Russia is one of the great nations of the world, one of the great powers of the world. So it's France, Ottomans, and Russia. I mean, this is, and Ming. I mean, these, you know, these are the big boys, so to speak. Yeah, so it's not going to be super easy, but I think it's within our abilities, because we are, of course, at the top of the list here. Significantly above everybody else, actually. So. All right, now that that's, so I think that's kind of our goals. And to do that, we are going to need to initiate this war against Denmark. The cool thing about Denmark, is for the most part, they don't have really a very good, strong network of alliances. In fact, right now, yeah, Denmark's kind of in a bad spot right now. The only thing to worry about slightly is maybe like their navy. Would potentially prevent us from getting over here and doing stuff in the Sound Toll. Okay, we got a rebellion here at 90%. We got these guys coming up to deal with that, hopefully. We have everything else looks fine. Yeah, Leinster, no big deal. That's going to go away on its own. I suspect, yeah, 12 years, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely going to go away on its own. We can get technologies, but again, we're not going to pay the price for that. We're making 14 ducats a month. We have a decently high state maintenance. One thing that's going on right now is we're trying to embrace, printing press, which we need to do before we tech up. But we now no longer need this state edict here because it's already fully embraced in these areas. So we can actually remove this. Local development. Why are we paying for that? Let's remove all that because it's already been embraced in all these areas. We could technically consider, activating some of these other areas. What's the natural growth look like? Natural growth is already pretty good here. It's already pretty good. But either way, it's just going to cost us a huge amount of coin to do this. Now, looking at loans, would we be able... We could take a loan out to get us over the hump, but we need to just accumulate money at this point. I think we were building buildings, weren't we? We were building buildings, and we really should have just been probably accumulating money to get that done with. But the question is here... How close are we to maybe getting this done? How many manufacturers have we built? Because that's actually, that mission right there just awards us with a bunch of money. We only have like 5, maybe 6. Yeah, 6. Yeah, so we're not going to be able to get to 20 on that. That's gonna be a much longer term goal. So let's just start accumulating money. Let's keep trying to push for the Curie controller because that's really fun. All right, we have a lot of Diplo here. We're still 4 years ahead of time. I don't know what else are we going to do with our Diplo points. One thing we can do is accept cultures. There's nothing here that really needs to be accepted, to be honest, at the moment. We could force their culture, because we were thinking about this last time, and force culture here. This could be kind of fun. Let's wait a little bit to see if their liberty desire is going to fluctuate at all. We could actually make Hamburg a state. Probably give us a lot more power in that node. And the more power we have in Lubeck, the more money gets shuttled down to the English Channel, and the more money we make. Yeah, it's going to be important. It's going to be really important, actually, to come up here and take as much of this as possible. So, unfortunately, it looks like this is controlled by our ally, so not going to be able to get that center of trade. But it's just an estuary. It's not a center of trade. Danzig is controlled by Prussia. Ooh. Ooh, that could be an interesting little stretch goal. If we go to war with Denmark, it might be kind of nice to get Danzig. That would help us get up the Baltic towards Russia, actually. That'd actually be really, really good. All right, let's check out. Do we need to build any troops? We could, but we don't need to. We could build more ships, but again, we're kind of just waiting to see, can we accumulate some money here? We accumulate some money. Are our ships doing logical things? The transports. Yeah, let's get these out of here. Actually, fuck the heavies. How's the let's just use the automatic transport to get these over. What the heck, let's take them over to England, because what is the truce looking like with England? Oh, it's still 6 years away. Scratch that. Scratch that. Wait, don't we have rebels somewhere? We've taken care of that. Okay. No, we don't have any active rebels. We have some troops in the New World. They're doing their thing. Yeah, I think actually we are going to prepare to fight Denmark. I think it is time. If we're going to go for better than Napoleon, I think we need to get up there. We got troops drilling in Paris. Nice. Let's do a quick check on Denmark here. Quick check on Denmark. 20,000 troops. They can build up to 30,000. Not concerning at all. We're going to have 40,000. We could check Prussia, but I'm guessing they probably have no more than 20,000 as well. Pretty small right now. Although Prussia has very, very, very strong, like legendarily strong fighting troops. Denmark's navy is also probably a lot stronger than its ground forces. Yeah, like we don't have to go very far down at all. But they only have 4 heavies and 21 galleys. So the galleys are going to fight pretty fiercely in the Baltic. They actually get 100% combat bonus in the Baltic. So that makes them more sort of heavy-esque in the Baltic. Which starts right in Kattegat. So this province, we're probably going to need to put our heavies here and just sort of block them from coming up this way. What we're going to want to do. Also, we need to make sure, do we have any of our light ships protecting trade in the Lubeck? No, we don't. That's a huge potential for growth, actually. Now, I've heard from someone recently, I drone him on Twitch. I've heard from him that that you actually want to boost the tariffs. You actually want to boost the tariffs because we don't really need 10 of a random power. Let's try this. Let's try this. The only thing I'm worried about is whether this is going to radically increase their liberty desire, which kind of is leaning towards that. Okay, let's check on our colonies here. One thing we need to do is we do need to continue to grow and form. We need to form French Mexico. We need to form French Louisiana, because if we go to the colonial regions, we can see that Louisiana is a region, right? We can have a colonial nation working in this region. We can have one working in this region. And we already have one here. We need to finish Canada too. Are we working on finishing Canada? Yeah, okay. One thing we can do actually is if we had a claim up here, we could just attack them. This is going to be great, getting all of that. And then we also have there too. Yeah, so this will allow us to get Canada to, that'll be good. The thing that I'm worried about is we can double check our coalition map mode and kind of get a sense of how angry are people here. Some of these people are a little antsy. Again, we are going to be going to war with Denmark. We aren't going to be taking any HRE lands. Okay, so the Emperor's not going to be able to, you know, get upset with us. But people are still going to care because Denmark is, of course, in this ecosystem. I think the 40,000 troops that we're taking up is going to be plenty. I don't think we have to do anything crazy here. But we do eventually want... Oh, wow, these are all, like, really connected, too. We do oh, what would be nice is if they migrate. What they do is the native tribes here, they actually migrate around. That's why we've seen them sort of flipping around. And, you know, this nation was over here, and now it's going to be over here. It's just kind of doing some weird stuff like that. That's just what they do. There's probably some interesting mechanics to that if you're actually playing those nations, but... Of course, usually they don't go to war with each other, but typically that's what you do as a player, right? You go to war with them. We haven't looked at this in a while. We need 5 colonies to get this. We might be able to push for that, but I don't know. Well, we're going to have Canada, Louisiana, and Mexico. I think that's our goal. Get those 5 colonies up and going here. And unfortunately, this is something you probably are supposed to do. 9 times out of 10 is unify culture, especially as France. But just because the Papal State has this, it's just making it annoying for us to be able to get that. We're not going to be able to do these because we're choosing to stay Catholic. Okay, and I don't think we're going to be getting any, like, spice trade bonuses or anything in this phase of the game. That is something we could consider, though. We could actually reach... Well, yeah, we're nowhere near Australia as it is, but we could get there, actually, by sort of island hopping around here. It's kind of annoying that the Mamluks seem to be... gobbling up a lot of these little provinces, which is unfortunate. Yeah, the Mamluks are colonizing in Indonesia. Right, let's get the last bit of troops up here. Where's our... They're coming. Actually taking a while. Let's go up to speed 4 here. Let's start building the spy network here, because that'll help us in the war. Although we already have the 2 claims that we're going to get. We're probably going to grab the 2 things we have claims on. We'll see what it's all going to cost, probably. Okay, now let's get all these claims over here in the New World. Need them anymore. Interesting that it'll let us claim all of this. How does it factor that? Factor that. Get a royal marriage again with... Oh, that's almost gone. That's almost gone. We're going to just have to wait a couple of years and that'll go away on its own. So let's... Okay, we're ready to fight Denmark, I think. The only thing that's going to be slightly problematic is Prussia. But the cool thing is we do have Hungary now. So Hungary should be able to Now, the thing is, Hungary's not going to be able to actually fight Prussia effectively. What would be great is if we could get Brandenburg involved here. That would be ideal. The other cool benefit of this is I think if we fight Denmark and Prussia, we might be able to get a lot of lump sum money and use that money to make Saxony happy. A lot of these people are not happy with us. Brunswick, yeah, there's nothing we can do there. Mainz. Get Trier. Okay, what's it gonna look like if we declare here? Nice, we can call on Sweden too. How many favors do we have with Brandenburg and Sweden? I think we have quite a bit. No, we only have 10 with Brandenburg. I don't know if we want to quote waste them on this war, but how fast are we building the favors? We get one every year. So yeah, we're gonna have... Let's just make this as easy as humanly possible. Let's just have Sweden just dominating from their side. Let's have Brandenburg helping us here. Of course, we'll have Hungary. We'll have all of our vassals in Hungary. Yeah, this is going to be totally fine. This is going to be a smooth war. This is going to be a smooth war. Except for I thought we were going to have 44,000 here. My bad. Oh, they can't get there. Port's blocking them. Oh, that's right, we don't have our heavies in place. Oops. Let's get the heavies here before they slip out of there somehow. Now, what would be amazing is if our vassal was actually smart enough to go and do an amphibious assaults on these areas here. You know what would be kind of cool? Is actually grabbing Iceland up here. That'd be kind of neat. Just for... Oh no. Good. They're not actually able to cross here. Whew. That would have been kind of annoying. Okay, we do need Danzig. We do need to make sure that we're the ones that take Danzig, though. Okay, how are we going to do this? Right. How many troops does Prussia have? 18,000. Yeah, we need to be the ones that siege Danzig. We can't have Brandenburg doing something like that. And here they go. They're going for it. We need to get a leader here with some speed, with some Nikes on. That's our 5-5. Let's get this guy going here. Where are we pulling these people from? I was gonna say, let's make sure they have a leader. We just have so many good generals, it's hard to keep track. Conquistador, we don't need a conquistador. We don't really... Actually, we do need the prestige for something, don't we? No, because everybody's loyal. You can use prestige to make your subjects a bit more loyal by spending prestige to reduce their liberty desire. An improved relations, half-cost improved relations. We're already paying someone half-cost, but they're getting kind of old. Once they get 45 to 50, you know, they could croak. We're going to be getting prestige just from the war, so let's actually get her up and going here. Never mind. She's not our culture group. She's Aztec. Which is really interesting. That makes sense because we found her. Our conquistador found her in the New World or something? I don't know. Like, just, or met her, you know what I mean? Met her is what I mean to say. Yep. I swear. If you... Oh, they walked across, huh? That's annoying. Okay, so we can lose a lot of manpower to increase army professionalism. Or I think we are going to do that because, one, we're France. We're trying to get this higher, not lower. It makes sense that we should have pretty high army professionalism. We're getting some nice positive modifiers by doing this. Plus, we now have regained manpower when disbanding. That is insane. So look, we can disband this guy. Oh yeah, we got 1,000 manpower back. Usually you just lose it. That's incredible. Danzig's moving off of there. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Let us siege it. Let us siege. Nice, we got Danzig. Okay, because what'll happen is the AI might siege this, especially if they have a claim on it. Interesting that Denmark actually has a claim on it. Not really that interested in fighting the rebels for you, Denmark. Okay, our colonies are wrapping up. Let's make sure, whoops, let's keep the game paused for a second. Okay, we fought those. Let's go back to Paris and keep drilling. Okay, so Denmark's fleet is engaging us here. We have 57 lights. They are taking damage here. No, this is Denmark's fleet. Our fleet here, it's not really taking much damage. I'm glad we caught this though, because anything can happen. Okay, let's keep an eye on that. But let's also go over here and figure out where we're going to be sending more colonists as these are wrapping up. So we need to finish Mexico, but we really need to finish Canada. We'll be finishing Canada by attacking these nations here. Right, attacking down here. We'll be able to finish Canada. So we should be working on Louisiana. And Mexico. Probably prioritize Mexico. Okay. Colonies are doing their thing. Yep, see. Oh, no, actually Poland just declared on Danzig is what happened. Or declared on Prussia, sorry, who controls Danzig. Okay, go back, go back, go back. When does this end exactly? I don't get it. Are we just going to be fighting rebels here forever? I don't get it. Weird to me. Do we have to culture... Do we have to culture convert these? Would that get rid of the possibility of these going, wanting to go Dutch? I don't know. I don't know, but wow, okay, it's gonna be... Or what if we accepted this as one of our cultures? Hmm. Is this even Dutch? This is Dutch. You know what? We have lots of Diplo. Let's hit this. Let's culture convert this province. If then once, let's see if this counts as an adjacency, because if there's an adjacency, it actually you get a discount. So let's convert the cheaper one and then use the discount to convert these. And let's just make them French. So actually, I think now is a good time here. Take a quick pause in the episode. So we are successfully winning the war against Denmark. However, Denmark, you know, until we get... Actually, I'm noticing we should be able to get down in across the strait here. The only problem with this is I'd rather not fight these rebels. That's the only thing here. All right, we'll figure. I think I got a plan for how to get around them. So now that we've weakened Denmark's navy significantly, we didn't actually lose any ships there, which is great. So I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching another episode, everybody. And see you in the next one.